Hey yo guys, welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today you're getting our final album review of Overtures of Blasphemy from Deicide. Okay, we just spent the entire week listening to this album non-stop on full rotation, and I want to know, TV Fish, what do you think after the entire week of listening to it?
Alright, so, I mentioned last week that, this album, has like a little bit of shoes to fill for itself. Like, will I get tired of it over the week? And the answer is not really. Because I felt when I put this album on over the week and I really focused on it, some parts kind of started to drag, there was a lot of things that would kind of blend in, but if I was having it on in the background, like for something, or if I just wasn't really focusing on it, it sounded great. I'd be working on something like writing something or drawing or doing whatever, and I just put this on and it sounded cool because I wouldn't put my full attention into it, so the cool parts of the album would jump out to me, but it wouldn't be like too much in my face being like, okay, well, what's happening? Mm-hmm. But my opinions on the songs, not much really changed. I didn't notice like, oh man, this one song sounds great now, or this one really wore off. Like, I feel like everything was generally alright, but Seal the Tomb Below is still a sick song. Like,
is that still your favorite song? Is that the one that stands out the most to you? Because mine's changed a little bit. I still think that's a sick song, but...
See, everything was good, but I feel like that one still stands out a little bit above the rest.
Okay.
Other songs may have gotten it better for me, but that one still kind of stands a little bit above them.
Okay. For me, personally, I think that song does stand out still among the whole album, but Excommunicated also grew on me quite a lot, as well as the song right after that, Anointed in Blood. The reason those two songs grew on me was mainly melodic reasons, guitar focus reasons. The guitar solos in those songs I really liked. I don't know what exactly about them that I was gravitating towards, but I know like the way he starts the guitar solos on those specific songs were just kind of wild, kind of very Slayer-esque, which we did mention in the first impressions video. But Excommunicated was actually the first single they put out, like, lyric video. We don't react to lyric videos, so we didn't do it, but when I first heard the song, I was just like, oh, whatever, this typical Deicide, like, run-of-the-mill kind of thing. But the more and more that song came on, I kept going, oh yeah, this one, and like cranking it up another notch, cranking it up another notch. So that one really started resonating with me for whatever reason. But overall, I kind of had the same vibes as you, where this was kind of an album where it kind of just felt good in the background, but once you really start focusing on it and trying to pick out things to be, I guess, impressed by, or things to talk about, there really wasn't much there.
It kind of goes.
It kind of goes, and like, you know what the thing with this album, it's hard to judge an album like this because everything about the album is good. The vocals are good, the guitaring is good, the percussion's amazing, like the bass lines are sick, the lyrics are brutal, and just everything you want from a band like this, an album like this, you get it.
Yeah.
But if you watch our first impression video, I had one main worry, and that is anything on this gonna stand out to me and be memorable? And for me, it really doesn't have that aspect. I feel like you could put this album on with a bunch of other Deicide albums and just shuffle them, and it'll blend right in, and every song you listen to is gonna be good. You're not gonna have a problem, you're not gonna wanna skip anything, but that's it. You're not gonna really, like, there's not really any songs on this album that I'm gonna be like, this has to be on my playlist. It just doesn't have that for me.
Yeah, it's a strong album, and from what I note, like here from my notes from last week, I gave a lot of song 6s or just that general area, and I feel like they didn't get a ton better, but they got a little bit better. Like,
right.
Maybe if I were to rate the songs now, maybe I'd give them like closer to 7, like around that kind of range. But for like, we got a similar kind of thing here where nothing was really truly exceptional, but it was still an enjoyable album. I enjoyed listening to this album. Yeah. Another thing to mention, that how short this album is, it's about like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
like
just over 30 minutes.
It's just over 30 minutes. So when you put it on, either front to back, or if you shuffle it, once it's over, like, I sit there, think to myself, do I really want to do that again, like immediately? So what I would do typically throughout the week is I would put it on, and once it's over, either sit there for nothing, or like maybe just put something else on and kind of recharge myself. Because I feel like if you listen to an album like this, which is so short already, over and over and over again, like back to back to back, it really starts to wear on you.
It does.
And if this album was truly exceptional, then that would be a special case. It would be like, oh man, I can't get enough of this. But this album really isn't there, I find. So that was one strategy I had in regards to listening to this album.
That's actually a pretty major downfall, a major negative point for albums like this and the way we review albums, because we listen to these albums a lot, like all through the week, multiple times a day, every day, on multiple different mediums, speakers, headphones, car radio, like everything we can listen to it on. And an album this short, it can get tiring very fast because it's over before you know it. Then you're starting it again and you're like, I kind of just heard this first song half an hour ago. It doesn't feel like that long. And like, it's tough for an album this short to really, maintain any type of listening pleasure.
Yeah.
But I feel like this album did a decent job at it still.
Yeah, it was still effective. It's not like I did get overly tired, like, oh, this shit again. Like, it was still good throughout the whole week.
Yeah.
I just had to really space it out, like my listens, so I wouldn't get tired of it.
Yeah. So, I don't know, was there any song that you thought that kind of not grew on you, but the opposite? Was there any song that kind of went downhill for you the more you heard it?
It's really hard to say. There's nothing I really said to myself as I was listening where I said, oh, this shit again. Nothing really bothered me. So I can't really say anything got worse. There were a few moments in songs that I picked out like, okay, what's that? Or what's going on here? And it makes them kind of unique and stand out to me. Mm-hmm. But nothing really did that in a bad way. Like, we've talked about Excommunicated, how it sounds a lot like Slayer, very thrashy rhythms happening. Okay, that makes that notable.
Right.
Flesh Power Dominion, you brought up to me, something about the rhythm sounds weird, and I listened to it and I figured, there's a Hemiola figure, which is like a 3-note grouping happening over a 4-bar, like in 4/4, 4-bar structure. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting, and that makes that notable. They don't really do that in any other song, so the Hemiola that happens in this one is like, okay, that's notable for that song. But nothing was really bad.
Nothing bad? Okay, I wouldn't say anything's bad per se, but...
Nothing was really tiring, though. There was no song that really
there was a little bit. In the second song, Crawl from the Shadows. I don't know why, but the more I heard that song, the more annoyed I got with it. I think it's the riff pattern or whatever, but it sounded very juvenile maybe, like it didn't sound like a very well thought out riff the way the song goes, and every time I heard it I was just like, this sounds so derpy, like who came up with it? It sounds so simple, like I don't know, it just for a well established band that's been playing for 30 years, like you'd think you could come up with something a little more memorable than that.
If I recall correctly, wasn't that one of the songs you liked a lot more during the first impression? And you said there was an interesting melody that was happening during the chorus.
Let me see my notes here. There's what I said. I talked about added fluctuation to vocal melody, which obviously there's good stuff about it.
Yeah.
The tremolo picking on top of the D beat, so you got black metal vibes on top of thrash vibes meshing together, which is pretty cool. But still, I can't remember how exactly the riff goes off the top of my head, but I just remember I was listening to it today and I was like, here's that melody again, what is this? It sounds so corny, it sounds so cheesy, but unless you're focusing on it and really judging it, you won't really notice it.
Exactly.
It's something that'll just fly right by, it'll blend in with everything else and you won't even notice it, but if you really focus on it, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna go, that's actually kind of amateur level stuff that they're writing, I feel. That's my own personal opinion on it though, you know what I mean? It's not to say that I'm right and everybody, and you might be wrong. Maybe you like it and I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Who knows? But you're right though. It is one of the songs that I liked on the first impressions. The first whole half of the album I favored on my first impressions. And that was song number 2. Not a bad song. I just feel like out of all the other songs, that's the one that kind of started wearing on me the most.
Yeah. Well, with that said, let's get the ratings. So, what do you rate this album?
You know what, I really enjoyed this album, I really did. I think this album brings a lot to the table. I think it has a lot to offer. I think these guys are very talented. This album is well written, well recorded, and all this fun stuff. But it's missing an element that is gonna prevent me from giving it a toe tag. It just doesn't reach the level that a toe tag album needs to reach for me, but it's very close. Almost on the borderline. I'm literally gonna put this on the border and give this a 7.5. Very close, but I just can't give it a toe tag. It's just missing that spark. It needs a spark in order to get a toe tag, and it's missing it. Everything else across the board is good. It needs that spark.
All right. Interesting with the 7.5 for my rating. This album, I feel, was overall good. It had a lot to it. My issue is just that I couldn't focus on it. Like, if I did, then it would start to wear on me or get kind of boring a little bit. So the fact that this album only really worked out for me when it was in the background kind of shows that it doesn't really have what it takes to really be a toe tag album. But I still think this album's good. Like, I still think it's a solid, good album that you should definitely check out because it has a lot of interesting stuff in it, but these pitfalls prevent it from doing such. It gets a 7 from me. So, right on the doorstep for him, a little bit maybe on the front lawn for me, toe tag territory, but still a really good album, Overtures of Blasphemy by Deicide. You guys should check it out.
Definitely check it out,
because it is good. It gives you a lot of content, even though it's still so short.
Yeah.
But don't focus on it too hard. At least that's just me. I mean, you know, tell us what you guys think.
Let us know what you guys think, of course.
In the comments below. We read all comments. You know, if you guys really liked it, if there's stuff that we, you know, didn't really notice that you guys did, let us know. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, because we always got stuff coming for you guys all the time. I'm TV Fish.
I'm Vile Self.
We'll see you guys later.